So you were talking about you were doing, you going to school, right? Like how long into your bid before you started pursuing your education?
2013, 14, I got into school. No, 2013, I got in
So like
school.
8 years in,
Yeah, I mean,
pretty much.
between that, I was always reading. I got into programs. I
So
just
self
got,
study. You were doing a lot of
yeah,
self study
I
previously.
tried to get
Okay.
into I was almost in the college program, but that's when I went to the box and I messed the situation up,
Mm,
2011. So I'll say 2011, I kind of pursued education. But 2013, 14 is when it really like upped it. I was really in a program and like really, really like locking in.
in the beginning of your bid, were you like not focused, not trying to be productive? Like, were you just like kind of getting a feel of the land and the experience?
Exactly. Tried, doing stupid things and getting caught. Um, yeah, like early on, trying to get a feel of the land. And I think I always was, again, I came in as an observer, you know what I'm saying? So when I got caught doing some stupid shit, I was like, this ain't for me. I ain't doing that. And then, but I always, again, though, I always like figured out how to make my time productive. So when I was reading something, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't really taking my like production, my self production serious until a couple years in.
Got you. Okay. And then you ended up getting an undergrad degree in prison, right?
Yeah.
And that was in what, sociology or
Social studies.
social studies?
Yeah, with a kind of like a heavy focus on fashion, but my
Mm.
background was in social studies.
So, what made you want to pursue that?
Well, I think the education became, I mean, shout out to my ex-wife. She had got her degree at 21. So while I was married to her, like I always wanted to kind of match energy and kind of like, do my thing. Plus I tapped into that nerd that I said, and I kind of knew I wanted to, like in my mind, to level up, you need to get your education. That was like
Right.
the key thing, right? You do all your mandated programs. You can't work out all day and be brolic and no brains, right? So me, like, you're going to get your education, right? That's what the lane I was pushing toward. So education became a way out and it became like my true first love. I ain't gonna lie, like the academic space became something that like I really fell in love with. So me knowing it was like my way out to better myself, that's what pulled me in. What kept me in was I fell in love with the process, the things I was learning, the mind opening, right? Like learning how to speak better. Like, at one point I couldn't speak in front of a crowd. I was nervous as hell. I used to stutter, now I hold whole seminars and stuff like that. So I was building that person early on. And then I got hungry. Like I started seeing a version of myself. And it was like, in order to become that version, I got to continue studying, continue learning and building myself and getting my mind all the way right. You know what
Do
I'm
you
saying?
feel like through the education, like you started to see the world different?
100%. 100%.
Because a lot of times it's like people, all they know is like the block, like that's all they see.
Facts.
Some people have, have never even left Brooklyn or left, you know what I
For
mean? Like
sure.
these certain things, right? So like did you find it almost like, because I guess like for a lot of people, I hear in a place where you don't have freedom physically, they find freedom in their mind.
100%. Yeah. Through therapeutic things, through the arts, through creativity. My freedom was in like education, right? Because I got to understand another world. I was able to understand history, understand like just the global politics, right? And the more you learn, the more information you receive, the more your mind opens up.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was in a liberal arts school. So they teaching you all aspects of education, from literature to history to mathematics to science to, culture, anthropology, the social sciences, right? Like you're learning, and it's the nerd in me is like in love with that, right? Like, so I'm like all the way tapped in. And then I start to say, okay, then I'm in a space, no lie, right? Like a lot of the brothers I was in the space with were really smart. Like these dudes are sharp dudes. So I always felt like I was the pup in the room. I'm like, yo, I can't keep up with these dudes. These dudes are smart. They know how to talk. They reading the material. They writing great essays. They doing great presentations. So I felt like a pup, and that insecurity in me made me go hard. You know what I'm
It
saying?
drove you.
It drove me. I'm like, yeah, nah, I ain't gonna be the pup. You know what I'm saying? So I started to go hard. So now education became me versus me, you know, until I became one of those dudes and another person feel like he the pup. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well,